Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, if you like what you see here, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like what you see here, I probably won't see you again, but thanks for stopping by. Now let's get started. This is Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 2, Episode 3. I'm a little bit behind, but I'm trying to get caught up. So if I have time, I'll come back to do a review for Episode 4. But this is going to be Season 2, Episode 3, The Gift of Escortion. So it starts off with Melody having security escort Tisha out of her event because she was not invited. Melody's not having it for obvious reasons over the beef that happened last season, and then when the season ended, the Twitter beef that was going on between Marcel, Tisha, Melody, and even the mamas got involved with it too. Tisha's mama, Melody's mama also got dragged into it. So Melody wasn't here at all for Tisha being at her event, so she had little Opie, the security guard, escort her out. So as she's being escorted out, or as the security guard is telling her to leave, she runs into Kimmy, and she grabs Kimmy and tells Kimmy that, hey, Melody is escorting me out. She's having me escorted out of her event. So as they're walking together arm in arm, Kimmy and Tisha, Kimmy takes her to go see Melody, which I thought was messy as hell, because first of all, Tisha should not have been there. These people don't like you. You don't like them. Y'all have called the cops on each other. Supposedly, Marcel had called the police or filed a police report against Marcel because he claims Marcel had threatened his life. These people, there's some serious bad blood between Marcel, Tisha, and Melody and Marcel. So, Tisha, what are you doing there to begin with? So they go and talk to Melody. Melody is not trying to have any kind of conversation with Tisha. She wants her out of her event ASAP. And Tisha is trying to, so-called extend the olive branch by telling Melody, hey, I'm not here to fight. I'm not here for any kind of confrontation. I just really want to talk to you. This is my way of trying to be the bigger person and my way of trying to make amends. And Melody's like, but if you're so concerned about making amends and making it better between us, why haven't you reached out? Why haven't you given me a call? Why haven't you set up a lunch date? So, good point, Melody. So, her coming to this event, it was just her, I think it was just her trying to be messy and thinking that she was going to probably catch Melody, kind of like maybe catch her off guard and use that to her advantage to try to talk to her. And I don't even know if Tisha really came there to make amends or if she came there to really, give her a piece of her mind. And she thought because Melody was hosting this event, not even hosting, but throwing this event for her product line, her skincare line, I think Tisha probably thought, well, I'm going to catch her off guard and then she won't have a choice but to sit there and listen to me. And, I'm going to be able to say what I have to say. That's what I think Tisha was really up to. But anyways, Marcel is there as well. And Marcel is like, Tisha, this is not the right time and place for this. We really need you to leave. So Kimmy walks her out to her car. As soon as she gets in her car, she calls her husband, Marcel, and tells Marcel that Melody just had her kicked out of her event. So as she's explaining what's happening, Marcel really isn't saying anything. He's quiet on the phone. And so then she finally asks her husband, why are you being so quiet? And Marcel basically tells her, you had no business being there. Why are you trying so hard to have a relationship with these people? They don't like us. We don't like them. Why are you there? Exactly, Tisha. Go home. What are you doing there? Tisha is extremely fragile. Every time Tisha has a scene, it seems like she is on the verge of tears. It could be like a very normal, blasé scene where they're just having breakfast or doing something really mundane. And it seems like Tisha's about to have a breakdown. She is so on the edge of, I don't know. She's just constantly like edgy, on the edge, on the verge of tears, about to cry about something. Anyways, so her husband basically gives it to her and he's like, you have no business being there. She didn't. You were not invited. Once Melody asked you or had Opie escort you out, once you knew you were no longer wanted and you were still inside that building, you were trespassing. She could have easily called the police on you. Could have called the police on you. Now, some people might have said, well, Melody was being a little bit extra. You didn't have to go that far to, it wasn't necessary. I felt like she should have just heard her out and listen to what she had to say. But there's so much animosity between them. I don't think it would have been a decent conversation, especially when Melody is trying to, conduct business. She's there for business, promoting her skincare line. It just was not the time. It was not the place. Maybe it was a good idea for Melody to have her escorted out, because it seems like that was the only way Tisha was going to leave. She wasn't going to leave on her own. So that's that. So next scene we have is Marcel and Kimmy. Now they're waking up in the morning, getting ready for their day. We see that Monster has officially moved in with Maurice, and it's a good thing. He really wanted his son to come live with him, and I guess he went ahead and bought the house for Monster's mom, his ex-wife. I guess he did that for them, because from what I saw last season, she wasn't going to agree for Monster to come live there unless she also moved to that state or the city that they're in. And Maurice had offered to buy her and her husband a home, I guess, so she could be close to her son. So I don't know what goes on when the show wraps, when the season's over. I don't follow anybody I do follow Melody. I don't follow, and I probably follow Kimmy. I'm not sure. I don't really dig into their lives and see what's happening in between seasons. And so I don't know, I don't read the Twitter stuff. I don't do any of that. So I don't know if his ex-wife did finally move to Huntsville or not. I'm not really sure. So that was interesting that he was going to buy her a whole house, her and her husband a house. And they're having a conversation in the morning, Maurice and Kimmy, about Kimmy's occupation. I didn't know Kimmy was a nurse. So evidently she's a nurse, and I think she's also trying to do real estate. And I think Maurice was trying to tell Kimmy that, she needs to do real estate full time. And Kimmy still wants to hang on to her nursing job because, that's a lot that a person goes through to get to the point. I'm assuming she's like a certified RN, a registered nurse. I'm assuming she's a registered nurse. It's a lot of work, a lot of school, a lot of hours. So maybe she doesn't want to just walk away from all of that. She invested a lot of her money, her time, her blood, sweat, and tears to get to that point. And maybe she's not comfortable to walk away from something that is for sure guaranteed for something that just kind of depends on how the market goes. So she made a comment that because Maurice is an entrepreneur, he wants everybody to be an entrepreneur. And I know a lot of people who are like this. They really believe in everybody being their own boss because, that's something that they aspire to. That's not for everybody. Having your own business takes a certain type of mindset and personality, and not everybody is geared towards that. Just like not everybody can be a lawyer, or not everybody can be a doctor. Now, these are very esteemable positions and careers: doctors, lawyers, judges, engineers, astronauts, nurses, law enforcement. But they're not for everybody. And it doesn't mean that if you're not these things, then you're lesser or less than. So just because you don't own your own business or you're not your own boss doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It's just not for everybody. It takes a certain type of person who can weather the storm in being an entrepreneur, who can take the ups and downs, who can take the very long and rough starts in starting your own business. Not everybody can do that. Some people want that paycheck here and now because they got stuff to take care of. And an entrepreneur, you have to have a lot of faith in your business and in what you're doing to ride out the really tough times. And some people are just not willing to do that. It's like, why go through that when I can just clock in and clock out and get a guaranteed check? And some people really enjoy their 9-to-5 jobs. It's pleasurable for them. It gives them satisfaction. Whatever it is that they're doing at their 9-to-5. Not everybody is geared towards that. So, Maurice, be quiet. If she doesn't want to quit her nursing job, let her be a nurse. So then we move on to Marcel and Tisha. Okay, Marcel and Tisha. have this conversation because Tisha is preparing herself. She also is going to have an event, and it's like a women's empowerment event, and she is going to be the primary speaker, I think, at this event. I don't know if she's hosting it or if she's a guest to this event. I'm not really sure, but she's supposed to give this speech, and her whole speech is basically about how when she got married and became a wife and a mother, she kind of lost her identity. And so she had to put her own personal goals and aspirations to the side in order to, cater to her husband and her children. And, at some point, I think she said around 2015, she decided to make a stand and, make a change in her life and pursue her own dreams. So as she's, going through her speech and practicing her lines, Marcel starts up the conversation of, is this really you pursuing your own dreams and you following your own passion? Is that really what's best for the family? If it's best for you, is it best for everybody else? And he gives the example of how him being the breadwinner and him pursuing his goals benefits everybody else, because all of his money comes back into the home, which I'm thinking all of her money will come back into the home as well. She would be just like you. She will go out there, do what she wants to do, make her money, and the money comes back into the home. So I don't know how good of a point that was, but he kept on saying how, when I go out, I make money, the money comes back into the household. And so I think his bigger point was, me pursuing my thing is the benefit for all because I'm taking care of all. You pursuing your thing, how is that benefiting all? I mean, we're already taken care of with my money, so it's not an issue of finances. So your money will be just the icing on the cake. But are we all going to be happy? We're all happy when I'm working. Are we all going to be happy when you're working? Now, okay, one way to look at this is maybe Marcel being a crybaby because he has to be home with the kids. He has to be the house husband when she's gone. He has to cook and clean and take care of the kids, and that's just not his thing. On the other hand, some might say, well, maybe he has a point because maybe Tisha did flip the script on him. When you get married, do you have those type of conversations with your spouse to be that, okay, I will be the housewife, you will be the breadwinner, and this is how it will be until the kids are grown? Or I will be the housewife and you will be the breadwinner, and this is how it will be until I don't feel like being a housewife anymore. And then that can happen at any point. At any point, I'm going to go back into the workforce, and that's just understood of what's going to happen. And then everybody agrees. So I think a lot of men go into marriage thinking that it's all going to be one way with their wives, and then at some point the wives wake up and realize, I've missed out on a lot. I've sacrificed so much of myself. I need to get some of myself back. And so they start making these major moves, and the husbands are just not cool with it because it's like, wait a minute, this isn't what I signed up for. I didn't sign up to be married to a woman who's working 8 to 16 hours a day. I'm not signing up for a woman who's gone, out of town on business, 3 days out of the week, and I'm stuck at home with the kids. So I wonder if that's a discussion that people have, if that's a discussion that people should have. Is it a discussion that's worth having? Maybe whatever happens in a marriage, we all need to just come together and make it work. Let's figure this out. This is not really what I thought it was going to be, but now that it's happening, now this is what you want to do. Let's talk about it. How is it going to benefit all of us? How can we compromise for you to pursue your dream, and for me to not have to completely give up what I'm doing? And, let's come to a middle ground, which is, to me, that's like the best option. You can't plan on how life will go. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. Someone who never ever thought of having a career might one day decide that they want to go back to college and get a degree in business and open up their own business or whatever. Someone might decide to dust off their degree after 10 years of marriage and raising kids and go back out there in the workforce. But then again, if let's say it was turned around, what if the man who was the main breadwinner, and let's say both of them worked, both husband and wife worked, and maybe the man is like, I'm not being fulfilled anymore out there in the business world, in the career sector. I want to stay home and I want to be closer to my kids. I want to be, Mr. Dad. I want to stay home and take care of the kids while my wife continues to work out there. Will a wife be just as accepting and willing to compromise if the wife made enough, possibly made more than him? And he's like, you know what? I'm not fulfilled out there anymore. I'd rather be home. I'd rather work from home, start a home business or stay home with the kids. Would a wife be like just as accepting of that? Because he might find more satisfaction in the home than outside the home. Just like a wife might find more satisfaction outside the home than in the home. I don't know. But this is the bridge that it seems like Marcel and Tisha are crossing. Is, what's going to happen with their marriage. I don't know. And he's telling Tisha, the energy that you're putting into Chase and Melody all over town, that needs to be the same energy that you need to put into this marriage. Catch that. Destiny and, what was that girl's name? Because Melody got a visit from... Yes, her name is Destiny. So Destiny and Melody. So Destiny and Melody meet up. And I guess Destiny is the new cast member for this season. She's a friend of the Holtz, I think. So Destiny and Melody meet up at Melody's house. We get to see the precious new baby. And they're having a conversation because Destiny is who's also pregnant. I think she's in her first trimester. She just got married. I didn't catch the husband's name. She just got married. And her and her husband, I guess, are going through some adjustments and living together. I think they have been dating for a while. Now they're married and living together. I want to say possibly for the first time they're living together, because she was talking about how hard it is for her to basically adjust to him. Now, she moved into his bachelor pad, she said. All of her stuff was in storage because there wasn't enough room in his bachelor pad for all of her stuff and his stuff. So she put her stuff in storage, and the only thing she has in that home is her clothes. And they just got married. She just got pregnant. So everything is kind of happening like boom, 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 boom. You get married, living together. Now you're pregnant and you're trying to adjust to all of this all at once. And, I guess you're going through some tough times. And she mentions that they're in counseling every day. I was like, wow, that's a lot. And Melody lets her know that, it's going to take time. The hardest years of marriage are those first few years. And she gives an example, like, with her and Marcel, it was different because they were young. They were really young when they first got together. So it was all fun and exciting. With Destiny and her husband, they're a little bit older, not that much older. They look like they're in their 30s. They're a little bit older, and they're a little bit more, they were more set in their own individual ways when they finally got together. So it will take a huge adjustment. And the whole time that Melody and Destiny are talking, Melody just kind of has this like blank stare, this blank look on her face. I mean, she's a very beautiful girl. She's a very, very pretty, very, very pretty face. And the whole time, she's talking to Melody, she's just kind of looking at her, not blank as in not listening, but blank as in not showing too much emotion. And it made me think that there's a lot going on in her marriage, a lot more than what she's revealing. And it's kind of like she had that look on her face like, there's so much more I want to say, but I'm not. There's so much more that I want to say, but I'm not going to talk about it here on camera or something. I don't know. It was just like, it was really strange. The way the look on her face to me was really strange. Like, there was just so much more there with her marriage possibly than what she was willing to say. Now, I kind of went out of order, I think, with Tisha and Marcel, because they did have two scenes together where they talked about their marriage. That first scene that I had mentioned, it wasn't happening when Tisha was giving the speech. It was happening when Tisha and Marcel were meeting out on their business property. I think they're renovating a business property or something, and they're meeting there, and that's where I don't know, their marriage is just, I mean, extremely rocky. Tisha, to me, seems obsessed with Melody. Tisha, to me, I think would benefit more from being Melody's friend than from being her enemy. But I think what Melody is going through and what she went through with Marcel and the infidelity, Tisha is looking in the mirror with that. I think that there's something going on between her and Marcel, and she doesn't know how to handle it, and she doesn't know where Melody got the strength to kind of go through what she went through with Marcel and to still be standing at the end. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that her and Marcel are still together. I don't know, because I don't know how much Marcel has changed. I kind of feel like, I don't know if I really, I don't want to say once a cheater, always a cheater, but once a cheater, always keep your eye on him. Wife, keep your eye on him. I mean, I don't know. So I feel like Tisha is envious of Melody. Probably envious on a professional level, because Melody has always done it all. She's been the wife, the mom, and the businesswoman, whereas Tisha was the wife and the mom for so long and now wants to be the businesswoman as well. I think she might be envious of Melody on that. And also, I think that she might be envious of Melody because Melody's business was out there. It was put out there on Front Street. Everybody knew about Marcel's infidelity, and it was kind of like, they didn't have to put up a front. They didn't have to put on, a good face or whatever, because everybody knew it was out there. It was the plot line of the show last season that he was being unfaithful, and it was all over the blogs and the internet and all of this and that. Whereas Tisha, whatever's going on there between her and Marcel, she's trying really hard to either not expose it, or she has her suspicions but does not want to be confronted with the truth. I think. I don't know what it is. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong, but there is something between Tisha and Melody that's really fueling the feud between them. And I think it has a lot to do with Melody kind of portraying a strong woman who went through hell and it seems like came back and is still standing strong. And Melody doesn't know if she can do that, because I think that her and Marcel were so judgmental towards the Holts. They were very judgmental, because I remember there were times last season where Marcel was constantly bringing up the infidelity to Marcel. I mean, Marcel would not let it go. Every chance he got, he would bring it up. And I kind of was like, is this to deflect away from him? But then he kept on poking that bear until Marcel came out and said, well, I'm not no different from you, because you've done the same thing I've done. And now, I don't know. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know, y'all. Help me out. But, so the conversation that he has with Tisha about, me going out there and making money is a benefit for all. It makes all of us happy. But you going out there and making money, is it really a benefit for all? They have that conversation at the end of the episode when Tisha was getting married. So, I mean, not getting married, when she was going through her speech. So, practicing her speech. So that's basically where it ended. This did not come out as concise and clear as I wanted it to, because there's a lot that I want to say that I feel like may or may not pertain to what's going on. I kind of feel like Marcel will always be a cheater. Okay, there, I said it. I kind of think Marcel is not done philandering around, because of the fact that before, when he had his affair, nobody knew who he was. Now you're on a television show that seemed like it was successful because it came back for a second season. Now you're going to get even more attention. Now you're going to get a lot of attention from all kinds of women from all over the place, who are going to either want to test your loyalty to Melody, or who are just going to want you because they want you. And how is that going to go? How are you going to be how can you resist? How are you going to be able to resist all of this attention that you're going to be getting coming from a successful show? So that's going to be the true test, I believe. And looking at Marcel, I feel like he hasn't learned to stop cheating. Maybe being on the show has taught him to be a better cheater and just not get caught this time around. I hope I'm wrong. And that's it, y'all. I don't think I have anything else to say. Oh, Tisha and her bundles. So last season, I felt like Tisha, she wore her own hair. She had beautiful long hair. I don't think she had like bundles and weaves and stuff like that. I don't think she had that last year. I don't remember. I remember her having her own hair, and her own hair was really pretty. But this season, it's like, wow, she's got her some pieces in there. And, it's a whole bunch of bouncy curls and waves and just cascading down her back. And I wonder if she felt pressure to change her look for whatever reason, either for the show. I don't know. But Tisha and Marcel, to me, really don't click together. I felt that way even last season. Like, it really didn't. They don't seem like they make a really good match. I think that Tisha served Marcel because she was willing to stay home, have kids, and take care of the house, and he has something to come home to. That's what I think was her purpose in his life. I don't think that he really values her for who she really is. He just wanted a woman to have his babies, have his dinner ready when he came home, and keep the house clean. That's what it kind of seems like to me. And of course, Tisha probably was in love with him. She saw a man who was a provider, so on and so forth. Because when she decided to go back to work last season, he did not take it very well. And it seemed like he did not want to be around his own kids without Tisha being there. So they never really were a good match to me. And I kind of wonder if, because he didn't really value her for who she was and appreciate her for who she was, I'm beginning to wonder if maybe he did cheat on her. If maybe there is some truth to what Marcel is saying. And then Kimmy playing both sides, which was, a theme in this episode. I don't know if she's necessarily playing both sides, because playing both sides to me would mean like when you're with Tisha, you're talking crap about Melody. And when you're with Melody, you're talking crap about Tisha. That's playing both sides, in my opinion. So I don't really know if that's what she's doing. I think she's just trying to get along with everybody. And of course, if you're trying to get along with everybody, the two sides that are warring against each other are going to think that you're playing both sides because they want you to pick a side. So I don't know about that part, if she's playing both sides, but Kimmy really, for her to bring Tisha to Melody after Melody clearly wanted Tisha gone, I thought that was not nice of Kimmy. I mean, you're basically leading this little rabbit to the lion's den. Why are you doing that, Kimmy? And Kimmy, you need to be worried about why your man is buying his ex-wife an entire home. And also, whatever happened to, did Maurice, Kimmy's husband, did Maurice, I know he was going to law school last season. Is he a practicing attorney? Did he pass the bar? Did he take the bar? I don't know. Hopefully we'll find out this season. But that's all I got to say. Thank you for joining me today. And I will come back with the next episode. If not today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But thanks anyway. Bye-bye.